I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Just a reminder, it's a public meeting, so mind your P's and Q's just a little bit. Don't say anything you wouldn't want your mom to hear. And as always, the pandemic makes the rules, we don't. So we've gone through a really crazy special events season this year with lots of different changes to our protocols based on what the virus is doing at any given time. Numbers seem to be getting a little bit better, but we'll wait and see how that's going as we move through these winter months and see how things progress, and have just asked event organizers and the public just to be really nimble and flexible with us as we try to make sure that we keep our community as safe as possible. So Sandy, it's nice to have you back. We will go around the room, just quickly introduce who's in the room today, and then Kelly and Jamie are logged into Zoom and we'll be able to call on folks who are joining us that way today. So Ed, do you want to start?
Yeah. So Ed Graves, Public Works.
Summer Altieri, Boise Parks.
Heather Lyle, DBA.
Dwight Kirkland, Police.
Rachel Holford, Emergency Management.
Kelly Frank, City Clerk's Office.
Jamie Heinzerling, City Clerk's Office. Online, I will let everybody introduce themselves. We'll start with Cameo.
Cameo Aikens, Ada County Paramedics.
Leslie.
Leslie Pedroza, Valley Regional Transit.
Conrad.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Debbie. Looks like she's muted. We do have Debbie White with ACHD. Lieutenant Nia.
Hi, Jeff Nia, Boise Police.
John Wasson. Who is also muted, but he is with ACHD. Lieutenant Hill.
Mike Hill, Boise Police Department.
Konvalinka.
Matt Konvalinka, Boise Police.
And I believe that that is all that we have online.
Great, thank you so much. Jamie probably wants me to say that we're officially calling the meeting to order. I'm Maria Wega with the Office of Community Engagement here at the City of Boise. So let's go ahead and get started. We have one event presenting today, the Idaho Potato Drop, 2021 Idaho Potato Drop. Sandy, do you have a presentation for us you want to walk through?
No, I know what questions that I just have a very few on my end that I'd like to wrap up. It's mainly with ACHD, so I'm hoping John jumps in here. And then I kind of wanted, because it reached out to each individual department, so it would be really helpful if everyone could just pick on me and let me know if they're missing anything today, because I think I've got most of my communication with everyone going. So I'd love to talk just briefly. I have James here with fire for ACHD and the street closure on Jefferson. That's probably my biggest question right now, just because we're giving him a couple of hours to set up by closing it at 3 p.m. He's indicating he thinks that's okay. So that was my only question really of John, is if we have to move that street time, but I'm thinking we're going to be able to keep it. So,
okay. Well, why don't we put up the new map and have you just walk us through it really quickly, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll go around the room and have folks that are in person, and then we'll have Jamie go through who's on Zoom and ask their questions.
And Sandy, do you want the progressive map like your first?
Oh,
or this one here?
That one works great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What you're not seeing is obviously on Tuesday, we'll just be closing that Y on Capitol there. That won't happen until 3 p.m. Main objective there is just to load snow in the park. We have to assume there's going to be none. So that will be us just carting man-made snow all the way from Eagle to downtown Boise. So that's why we just need that access on Tuesday. Much of the same on Wednesday, Thursday. It's just going to be building that urban air and the infrastructure around the park. Friday is when tinting and all of that will go in. So And stage, we might park day before, just because that has to be amplified, lighting, all of that good stuff. So we want to be able to do a sound check the day of with bands. So if that's already set, that makes it really helpful. Same with tenting. You might see a few tents on Thursday, but a majority of that will be on Friday. So we do have Wrestle Club coming back with us this year. One change, we're going to ditch the family tent. It's just not a good year to have an indoor thing. It's in the park. It's very expensive to put flooring on grass. It just doesn't make sense this year. So there will be vendors, but they will be individual tents. Keeps it more of an outdoor atmosphere. It's easier for us this year. So we'll look at what next year looks like. But for right now, that's just kind of the best course for us. In terms of COVID, because we really haven't discussed that, and that's not going to show on the map really, other than the pre-check tent. Our goal there is to get people at noon coming down. In our VIP area, we will offer on-site testing, but we're not going to do that for the park. It will be too crazy once the event starts. We just can't do that. So it's too short of an event. So for those people, for the folks coming down to the park, our goal is to get the message out that they have to come down with a negative test or a vaccination card. But for VIP, we will offer on-site testing because they are paying to be in that area. So that will start at noon with absolute security right there in the middle. We hope people come down early to do that. Event starts at 6. Obviously, we'll continue testing through the event. Yeah, I guess I could just open it up for questions if anyone has any.
Great, thank you. We'll just go around the room. Ed, why don't we start with you?
Cool. Hey, Sandy, welcome back. Yeah, so for me, we already discussed, trying to reduce the waste. And I totally understand the situation. So that'll just be kind of an ongoing, helping effort to help, reduce what we can reduce, especially from your vendors.
Mhm.
But, and as far as I will have some laminated signs, like recycle signs that I will give to you with those bins. So you can just tape them on, just leave them on, and then just, keep them on, turn them when the event's over, sort of deal. But yeah, I don't really have anything specific at this time, but I'll just shoot you an email. And we'll just
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
So Sandy, I just have one question. Where are you going to have people funnel into the park so that you can look at vaccination cards and or tests?
The pre-check there is actually outside of the park. You can see that yellow area. The COVID testing pre-check, it should be on your guys' map. Yeah, it is. Okay. And then, so they would actually get a different color wristband there. When they go to enter the park, we don't like to card people for over 21 because you don't have to be in the park. You just have to get a beverage.
Mhm.
So you can see there's an entrance right there on the corner of Bannock and Capitol Street. There's also one on the corner of 6th and Jefferson.
Okay.
So those are entrance exits. They can just enter the park. Again, they just are going to need that COVID wristband, but they're not going to need an over 21 wristband.
Okay.
Inside the park, there will be another tent that is for carding 21 and older. So
Okay.
that will be a different color wristband that they would receive if they choose to have a drink in the park.
Okay.
Hi, Sandy. Thanks for giving me all that stuff that we were asking about. I have only 2 questions for you so far. So I like
Okay.
the idea for the shipping container. I think if you go with that to build the jump, is that what you do? You put the shipping
Mhm.
container and then you build the snow over.
Mhm.
I like it. It sounds cleaner than the hay, but if you
Uh-huh.
have to go with the hay, that's fine. We'll work it out. The caveat for the shipping containers, if it is wet and soggy sod, I would just plan in your budget for if we have to
Boards.
fix it. Yeah, or board. I like it. If you can plank it in, and if you can plank in the wrestling, you build in, right?
Mhm.
You carry in. Okay, so that's good. And then you won't have the big tent for family tent. So we're good on that part. Are you going to have beer sales in the park? Or are you on the outside for beer
It's
sales?
on the out, yeah.
Okay, nope, that's good. For me, I think that's pretty good. We'll go through forestry. We'll look for like the low-lying limbs like we have in the past for that.
Thank you.
Yes, so we'll go through that as we get a little bit closer for branches and stuff. For us, so you answered all my questions earlier in the week, so thank you. So thanks.
Hi.
Okay, so I guess I want to make sure that I'm really clear about the road closures
Yep.
as far as the days and times, because that's going to affect what you need to do as far as neighborhood notifications. And I know we're a little bit early out, and that's fine. But as long as I understand when those roads are going to be closed and what roads are going to be closed, then we can go from there.
Perfect.
So do you have that outlined?
This map that I gave this to you too, but
Right.
it's kind of, so on Tuesday is where that Y gets closed down at 3. I know you're not seeing that on this map because it's just scrolled to the last day, but that is the only closure that will happen from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's
Okay.
just the Y.
Okay,
On Friday, Jefferson will close at 3 p.m. The post office closes at 3 p.m. as well. So there is absolutely no, like, the street closures are not going to affect the post office. Bannock won't close until 5. We're just doing that for safety. There's no infrastructure in Bannock this year. So Bannock and Capitol both closed down at 5. That was John's suggestion for, so that bodies don't go in the street. And that will not affect either because the bank, I believe, also closes at 3 p.m. So we're 2 hours outside of when the bank closes. That gives tenants 2 hours to leave if they want to before the street closure will take effect. The event doesn't start until 6, so we still have another hour of grace period if somebody's still there that we can let out.
okay. And that is just between Capitol and 9th, right?
Capitol to Idaho Street is where the closure will move, so it goes from Bannock to Idaho at 5, and then 8th and 6th on Bannock.
Okay. So we just need to, now that we have that aligned, just letting those businesses right there, you already addressed the post office and the bank, but the residents and in the Key Bank building and those businesses surrounding the area kind of, and you have a couple of weeks to get that done.
I do the floor block radius, so I see
Okay.
about 200 businesses in person usually.
Perfect.
And I don't, I like doing that. I was actually really truly waiting on fire and to make sure that James had enough time to set fireworks with that 3 p.m. Jefferson closure. I didn't want to have to walk back around and
Sure.
say, oh, sorry, we're changing that just a little
It's a
bit.
lot.
But
Yeah, no.
I think after our meeting today, I think that we're good with that time. So I feel comfortable now going around and actually, doing my notifications. So
Okay.
I'll get on that.
So maybe if we can say like by the end of that first week of December, if you get that information over to me and
Yeah.
you have that form I sent over, just bring that around and that would be great.
Yep. And then I did want to touch base though, because Kelly did indicate there was a few businesses that they weren't loving the in-person. So I just want to make sure I'm not going to walk in anywhere and have them kind of like, we've already discussed that we didn't want this. Is there any that come to mind around there that I need to be
I haven't
wary of?
heard of any specific, but
Okay.
if it comes down to you need help getting in touch with people or
Okay.
whatever, I can help with that. And then we can also send this out in our newsletter and to our membership that this is happening and this is going to be a thing. So they're hearing it from you, they're hearing it from me, and they're hearing it from everyone. And I think the more we communicate, the happier everybody will be about it.
That sounds wonderful. My plan is before Thanksgiving to get this out. So
Okay.
it'll be the map and probably just a brief flyer that just goes over a run of show. Just kind of when sound starts and when it stops.
That flyer with the road closures too, the
Yeah.
times and dates is really helpful. And
Perfect.
it's just something for people to have a visual reminder.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
Boise Police. We had a good conversation yesterday about the police staffing. So I have everything I need on my end.
Perfect.
So I'll write up the MPA contract today, get it out to you, and then we'll get that invoice for the prepayment. Aside from that, I think police are all set.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Sandy. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for sending over the updated information. The only couple questions that I still have is in looking at your footprint map, the question on the crane. So it looks like it might be in the grass. We do want that to be.
Oh,
in
sorry.
the
It's
roadway.
not in the grass. It's just with this map, you run out of room. So it's going to be where it is always. It's kind of in the leg where the setback is here. So that setback's bigger than it really is for fire. We just we try to get everything in here. So the crane will be positioned where we always position it with barricade around it.
That sounds great. And that's the other question, is making sure that we have that full barricade around it so we don't get children or other people deciding that, oh, that looks like a fun thing to climb on. So thank you for
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to need a final map. So we'll need to take off the family tent or any final
You got
changes so
it.
that we can share that appropriately, the final traffic control plan, and then the final schedule and staffing. So I will go ahead and put together the safety and security meeting to include police, fire, medics, and your team.
Okay.
So we can walk through all of this and just make sure everybody's on the same page. And then we did invite the Capitol so that they could answer those questions about the setup on their property. So I'll
Awesome.
give it to them. Thank you, Sandy.
Okay.
I'll come all the way. Hi, I'm Steve Walker with Department of Administration.
Hi, Stephen.
So thanks for having me here, and Rachel, thanks for reaching out to me. Some of the questions and concerns we might have would be the location of the VIP tent on state property
Okay.
with the sales of alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Generally, there's a statute and administrative rule that does not allow sales on state property.
Oh, okay.
So we're just kind of curious if it has to be there, back to the roadway, that sort of thing.
Well, we have the issue here is Bannock. We can't, we're getting a lot of blowback with plan. Yeah, I can't talk with Bannock Street, which is where we usually put our VIP tent. It takes too long to set that thing up and not shut down the street, and we're not able to shut the street. The problem with putting the VIP tent in the park is that there's only beer and wine allowed in the park, and we're looking at a really expensive infrastructure with flooring. I did not realize that we couldn't put it there. This is kind of a new thing to me. So we're kind of out of options as to where to move it.
And Rachel can probably speak to this better than I can. Other events that happen in this area, they generally put their VIP tent with their alcohol in the roadway on Capitol in the Y as an option, because then it goes through ACHD and not the city or the state.
Okay. We'll have to get creative.
I'm all for
I got a creative team.
I'm all for that. We're in full support of your guys' event. I'm happy to see it back.
Okay.
Just that's the major concern for us.
You got it. It's a good thing we're hearing this.
Thank you.
And Sandy, we'll make sure that they're included in our planning meeting as we move forward, just so that, like I said, we're all on the same page.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Rachel, can you guys hear me?
Yep, John, I will let you go on ahead. You can go first.
Oh, thank you very much. Sandy, I'm looking at the plan. And please forgive me. I'm at home. I'm not in the office, but could you resend me the temporary traffic control plan so that we can take a look at it? Because I'm not seeing where it came through here in my emails.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I sent that over a couple of times. So hopefully my email and your email are not.
Fortunately, your traffic control plan is less this year, and we're still 45 days out. So we've got time to review it.
So John, you have not received the traffic control plan at all?
I'm not seeing it in my emails, Kelly.
We've sent it over a few times.
I'm not seeing it in my emails, folks. I apologize.
Well, I just wanted to reiterate, John, that I had sent it too. So if you didn't get it from Sandy, check and see if we got it from me again, and we included Debbie, but if not, we'll get on that. You can also log into the sign-off system and download it. But we'll ensure that you get a copy of that.
Okay, thank you very much. And right now, that's all I've got.
Sounds like John's not feeling very well, so can't really blame him for maybe missing something in his email.
Next, Cameo with EMS.
Good morning. The only thing that we haven't seen yet is who are you contracting through for EMS? Is it acute care?
Yeah, it's acute. Wes said he was gonna reach out to Linda. I apologize if that.
Yeah, we as far as I think it was Saturday, I spoke with Linda. We haven't heard from him yet. So if you could have him reach out to either Linda or myself, just so we can see the plan, and then we'll walk through the ingress, egress, and evacuation and all of that when we do the safety and security meeting with Rachel. But just in lieu of everything that's happened recently, we just want to make sure we are tightened down with a good medical plan.
You got it. That will be my first call when I leave here.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. That's all I had.
All right, next we will defer to police. We'll start with Lieutenant Hill and Lieutenant Nia, and then also Sergeant Konvalinka, if you would like to add anything.
Lieutenant Hill, I don't have anything.
Yes, Lieutenant Nia. No, I think Dwight's spoken for us, so I'm good as well.
Sergeant Konvalinka, I don't have anything.
All right, thank you. Conrad with Republic.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
I have your request for dumpster service. We have a trash and recycle box that we're planning on bringing out. With your map, I see just one green rectangle.
Oh, again, that's just a spacing thing. So we're just trying to show where they need to be placed. So yeah, there should be two.
Okay, well, I figured so, but I just wanted to make sure here on the record.
Absolutely. Yep. And if we could do I know last year the guys had to move them and I felt so bad, or the year before. If we could do the far side of Jefferson, like furthest from the event, that'd be great. They were so nice, so they moved them.
Oh, good. So the furthest on Jefferson, like where the green box is right now?
Yeah, that's what we were trying to kind of show instead of being butted up against the park, kind of more, a little bit further away on the other side of the street.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see an issue with that as long as on the 31st, our driver has access to get there.
Perfect.
What I have not seen yet is parking, saying that meters have been reserved and everything's good with them.
Yeah, I've reached out to Shane a few times. I haven't heard back because I actually did have a question on Bannock for him. So I've emailed and called a few times. I've just been kind of waiting, and he might be waiting on my street closures. I don't know. So, but I have definitely reached out to Shane, and our intention is to actually hood every meter there, which is 15 meters on Friday.
Okay, yeah, no, it's great if that happens. And then secondly, an Ada County Highway District street permit for a dumpster.
Okay. That must be a separate, I remember that permit. I'll get that one in too.
It is separate from road closure permits and all that. It is separate, as if you were a construction company and needed a dumpster placed on the street. You need to get a permit for that.
I remember this now. You got it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and also it's not just for Friday, it would be Friday through Monday.
Thank you. You got it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Conrad. Next, we have Leslie with Valley Ride.
We're good. I got an email over the weekend and none of her closures affect the route, so we're good.
All right, Natasha with Central District Health.
Yes, hi Sandy, this is Natasha. Sounds like the vendor list that you guys submitted to us is just the preliminary information. So if you could please get the updated information to us as soon as possible, that would be great.
You got it.
Okay, and let your vendors know to submit their paperwork to us 30 days prior. So within the next couple of weeks, that's when I guess all that needs to take place, ideally.
Got it.
Okay, thank you so much, Cindy.
And next, we have Shane Anderson with Boise Parking. We just promoted him to a panelist, so 1 second.
about that. I didn't realize I was on mute. I did get your email yesterday, Sandy, and see that the only thing we're looking to meter is Jefferson Street between 6th and Capitol. So that should not be a problem.
I just had one question of you, Shane. I called and left you a voicemail too. I don't know if you got it, but with Bannock Street, we are closing that at 5. There is no infrastructure there, but if cars are parked at those meters, they're not going to be able to move. So I don't know if there's signage the city can provide that says something to the effect of like, if your car is still here after 5, you're going to be kind of stuck here. Because for us to meter, or I think there's 45 parking meters on Bannock. And we don't really need to hood them because we're not placing anything there. I'm just concerned with the cars that might park there in the day. That was my only question of you.
I think as long as whoever you're working with your traffic control company in Wasson can jump in here if he disagrees, but I believe just, working with your traffic control, we should be able to make that happen.
Does the city have any signs though that you guys, I think I've seen stuff that gets placed out that maybe does say though that the street is going to be closed. I just don't want to make anyone upset if they can't move their car, I guess is what I'm looking to avoid.
Well, the only signage that I have are either meter hoods or no parking by police order.
Okay, we can draft something up then on our end to put out. I just don't want people to have a negative takeaway if they can't move their vehicle. So we can work on that on our end.
I understand that. I just really think as far as with your traffic control, you can probably get that to happen without trapping anybody.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
John, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. And I'm just kind of thinking out loud, but if we're not closing Jefferson until 3 p.m. and Bannock until 5 p.m., people can legally go down there and put their 2 bits in the meter and be good for 2 hours, and all of a sudden come back and find themselves trapped or not really worried per se about getting a ticket, and then come back and again find themselves trapped at 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. So I don't know, it may end up being better for the public in some ways to post the no parking by police order hoods over those meters on Jefferson or Bannock, or some other solution. I'm more than willing to discuss it with police and see what they think, but I'm just worried that with the lake closure, we have the potential for trapping people on those streets in parking stalls.
Yeah, that's my concern too, John.
Maria, if I may, we can take that offline and have that discussion with the safety and security group so that we can ensure, because the last thing we want is cars mixing with pedestrians, especially if it starts to get busy. And we know people are going to be drinking. And the last thing we want is somebody who decides I'm getting in my car regardless. And now we have a situation. So we'll take that offline.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Sandy.
We have no one else online.
Great. Sandy, one more question and then I'll open it up to you. Of the restrooms that you have, how many porta potties and how many of them are you planning to have ADA?
Absolutely. There's 20 porta potties, 3 ADA. We would up that if we needed to, but everything I've heard from United Site Services does not indicate that we need to increase that number. And I'm glad you brought this up too. With COVID, I want to remind everyone, we will have extra hand sanitizing stations, but we cannot have running water at this event. It is too cold and it will freeze in the line. So it is not something that we can, it's not possible. They've tried to do things with generators and stuff. It just doesn't work. It destroys their equipment. So we are going to double up though on the hand sanitizing stations. The VIP mobile unit does have running water, but that's because it's a self-contained unit that has its own generator that keeps it heated. But yeah, running water is a no-go this time of year.
Great, thank you. Do you have additional questions of this team?
No, just Rachel and I just setting a date so that I can try to get as many team members that I think, need to be there as possible.
I do have a couple things, if I may.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Sandy, just reiterating a couple things that need updated on your map. Removing the family tent, relocating the VIP tent, adding the proper number of dumpsters. And did you decide you are doing food trucks and stuff?
Yes, we are. Yeah,
Okay.
there's just going to be very few, and I will make sure to have that list to them prior to 30 days.
To them being me too, right?
Yes, well, all of you. I'm going to just CC everyone. That's a smart
Yeah,
thing to
so
do.
Central District Health needs it for their stuff, but the city of Boise also needs it with the mobile eating and drinking licenses. So
You
we
got
can
it.
make sure that they're properly licensed with us. And then we haven't seen your COVID plan in writing. So all the stuff that you did reiterate to us, if you can get that in writing and get it sent over so we have it on file.
It is on the outline, but I can send that over just kind
Okay,
of separate.
perfect. Yeah, as long as it's sufficient and matches what you said, then that's perfect. And we did reiterate the traffic control plan did come in the form of links at the bottom of your email, how it was sent to you. So I think it may have been missed in the bottom of the email. So I did reiterate with John that it just looks different. It's not an attachment. So once again, we'll just ensure that he does get that today. And
I already sent it to him while we've been
oh,
sitting
did you
here.
too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it. I got it.
Okay. John's got 10 copies now. So perfect. Yeah, that's all I have. If you need anything else, then let me know, but we'll be in touch.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate your time.
Sandy, I have one more question for you.
Of course.
So with knowing that you have to move the VIP tent out of that state property, it can't go on Parks property, is it the clear top? Like, could you go in the road on the right side of the Y and have it be both sides?
Yeah.
Like party on the right, party on the left? Like, could you do that or?
This guy's going to make it happen.
Is it okay? I'm sorry. I didn't want to leave you hanging on.
No,
where
no, I mean, we're
it-
probably, honestly, that's too skinny. So we're probably going to have to wire it on both sides and then connect it in the middle is what I'm thinking on the grass, which would be an outdoor piece, which we always have, so people can go outside of the tent, but still be kind of contained. It's probably only 20 feet, I'm going to guess, because most streets are 40. Bannock is 50, but I'm going to guess since it's a single lane, we're going to go 20 feet on each side.
Okay.
That's a skinny tent. Usually they're about 40. So
well, I guess if you, for sure. I think if you go both sides, then you just keep the liquor on the road and then
Right.
beer could flow back and forth. Is that maybe while you have the state is a good question you can ask?
yeah, that outdoor
feel
piece would
like-
probably be we'd just probably have them leave their drink inside since they can.
gotcha.
So, and they
Okay.
can just have the, outdoor piece.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to.
Oh, yeah, no, thank you for clearing that up for us too. It's going to be challenging.
And Sandy, that was going to be one of the things I was just going to mention, that if you were going to bridge over, that we would need to talk about alcohol containment.
Yep.
So it sounds like you're thinking about that already. So really appreciate that. And if you need any guidance, I know Lieutenant Hill, Lieutenant Nia, Dwight and myself are happy to talk about alcohol containment and how we can help with that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much, Sandy, for coming back and for the work that you've done to adjust. And we'll look forward to the safety and security meeting and getting the rest of the documentation from you, and I hope to have a really fantastic event this year.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your time this morning.
And thanks to our partners from the state for being here today to be able to answer questions. All right, just a couple of more items. Just to remind everyone, we've got a couple of after action reports that are due at the end of the month. Hoptober Festival and 10 Barrel Pray for Snow. Maybe try to get those knocked out before you head out for your Thanksgiving holiday, and have one less thing on your to-do list when you come back after that break. And then on the calendar review, Kelly, tree lighting ceremonies.
Thank you. We just wanted to reiterate, I think there was some confusion as to what tree lighting ceremonies were and were not happening, and if there was still a tree and whatnot. I did confirm with the reps from the state this morning that they will have a tree, just not a ceremonial lighting. So that will be there on the Capitol. And then Heather, I don't know if you have any insight that you can share with the Grove or.
Sure. The tree was supposed to be installed yesterday. All the plans were in place and it broke getting loaded onto the crane or onto the truck. So we've gone to Plan B. Forestry has a backup tree and I'm still waiting on a date as to when that will be installed. And there will be no tree lighting ceremony on the plaza.
Okay, so there will be a tree, just not the ceremony to light it.
Right.
Okay.
And hopefully that tree will be in by the end of the week, but it just kind of depends on all the schedules. So.
Okay, perfect.
Kelly, this is John.
Hi.
With regards to the tree lighting ceremony, we heard about that unfortunate incident last night, and the fact that we didn't even have a tree fit for a munchkin at the end of it, which is unfortunate. Because of the way they bring that in, we're not going to necessarily adjust or require a new permit. DBA is just going to let us know when the move is going to take place, and we're going to let it happen under police escort. They still have to have the police help them bring it in because they have to shut down traffic on 9th Street for about 4 or 5 minutes while they bring it in from Grove into the West Spoke.
Yeah. John, have you been in touch with Mel? Has she contacted you about that?
Yeah, Mel called me yesterday and was all worried, and I tried to set her mind at ease.
Okay, I'll reiterate that again to her today. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you, John. Anything else for the good of the order before we close the meeting? I want to thank everyone for making time for this rescheduled special events team meeting. Thanks everyone for your hard work. And John, I feel like I'm going to have to order you to just take it easy for the rest of the day.
Ain't gonna happen.
But we need you strong, John. We need you strong. Anyway, take care. We're sending you all our best wishes.
Thank you so much.
And with that, we will adjourn and see everyone at the next meeting.